So, good afternoon. Usually when I go speak in front of council, I get hit with the 5-minute button, so I'm hoping that we don't have a 5-minute button here. I'll try not to go on too long, but I get pretty excited when I come to events like this because one of the things that I'd like to say first off is that the face of our downtown continues to change. And one of the things that will be driving us forward, in my opinion, is the arts, culture, and technology sectors. And you know, when I think back to my youth, which seems a long ways away now, it's getting farther and farther behind, I think of what downtown used to be. And downtown used to be a place where we'd go to Kresge's, those of you who can remember, Smith's and Bartlett's. But really, those places are gone, and those places are not coming back. That ship has left the port, and those places were not going to be the downtown of the past. So we have to come to grips with what we're going to be. And in my opinion, the future of our downtown is in what has been described, perhaps a bit cliched, as the creative class. And in our opinion, the people I'm working with, that we must create a creative creative cluster in the core. So for instance, last night I was downtown and there was an event by the Symphony, well attended. There was an event here in this beautiful building by the International Film Festival, which was sold out. I went to see The Serious Man, which by the way is a phenomenal movie. The Coen brothers, I can't believe these guys, they're over the top. There was a chamber event at the Poorhouse that was sold out. And what we get out of all of this is that our downtown is really changing. It's different. And then I know it's been said, and I'm going to say it again, repeat because it's important. This great building that we're in, it stands as a beacon. It stands as our cultural beacon in the core. And we must, at all costs, preserve this building. It is the most important building, in my opinion, in our core, and it stands as a symbol of where we're going. And the interesting part is it also connects us to our past. And the other thing that we look at is if we look at Palliser Avenue right now, and again, we can have the nostalgia about Palliser as this great retail sector, but it's not going to come back that way. It's going to come back, in our opinion, at the BIA as a creative corridor. So the BIA is working feverishly towards a model that will encourage artists and technology people to move in. Quick story. We go back in time, and there was a young man from Windsor who used to go to the library all the time and read every science book. And when he grew up, he left our fair city, and he went on to form Research in Motion. And most people don't know that Mike Lazaridis is from Windsor. So in my opinion, what we have to do is we have to find the next Mike Lazaridis in our midst and encourage them to stay here and develop new businesses. And those new businesses will revolve, in my opinion, around technology. So I have a group of folks who came to me and said, I want to start a business downtown, and they're moving into the old Peter K. Ryan building, I'm happy to announce today. And they're going to be developing applications for iPhones. Now, is that going to create the thousands of jobs that Research in Motion did? Who knows? But we must encourage these businesses to stay within our core. And so what we see then, in my opinion, is we see great promise, rather see great tragedy in our downtown. We see great promise with these new technologies. And if we look across the street, I can give you a firm example of the new Mediaplex that St. Clair College is building feverishly towards the March 31st deadline. This building has to be done next month. And I was in there yesterday. It's phenomenal what's going on there, folks. This is going to be the place that ties in beautifully with the House of Toast, because we will have now in our midst an experimental center that's going to be looking at the convergence of technology, print, audio, and sound, coming together in a new way to come across the web, and who knows where it's going to come across in the future. I mean, you know, we've got handheld devices now. Everything is changing. So what we're doing in the BIA is we're trying to embrace this. We're active in all these projects. So we want to be the place in Windsor and we feel in the region that embraces the arts and culture and technology. So what we want to do is create an art incubator within our midst in the core. And with that in mind, we are moving forward on our business incubator model, which we're hoping that will be funded by the federal government. And we're very excited about that project because that will allow us the opportunity to develop the arts, because the arts do need our support. So then we come here today to Media City and Art Site, this great group, and we see them as a model of this convergence, the convergence of video and audio and sound coming to the web and bringing these international people within our midst where we can gain from their knowledge and create all these great synergies. And you know, this then can become the hotbed. It already is a hotbed. If we look in this room, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but it's a hotbed of creative talent. I mean, I see Tom sitting here, and you know, Tom's working on projects with us all the time. And we think that this can be the venue. We think the Capitol Theater can be the place, the center of this venue. So we salute Trillium for funding this project. And I'm really happy to see my old friend here, Chris McNamara. We actually went to university together, communication studies, which I'm not going to say how long ago, but we studied this stuff. You know, back in the day when the camera was this big and you had this thing here, if you were lucky to actually have one of those. And now it's a little portable thing that Tom has in his hand there, and that can be plugged in and put on the internet right away. So we go back a long way, and I'd like to acknowledge the hard work that Chris did in founding this great event, this great hot whatever we can call it. This, it's sort of happiness, but and also the hard work of all the board members and Una and Jeremy on their on the great projects. So we're really excited. So I'd just like to close quickly and say what Margaret Mead said, and it always bears repeating, that never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen.